the depths of the vast, endless oceans, where freedom has no borders and strength reigns supreme, lives a monarch unlike any other, the orca, often called the killer whale. With unmatched power and breathtaking intelligence, it rules the seas, hunting in harmony with its pod across thousands of kilometers. But picture this, the same mighty creature, once a symbol of freedom, trapped inside a concrete tank, spinning in endless circles under blinding spotlights. Now imagine the unthinkable. A young marine trainer named Jessica Radcliffe, adored by visitors, suddenly pulled underwater during a routine show. The crowd gasps, shouts echo. The water churns red as the orca thrashes violently. In seconds, the performance turns into a nightmare, and Jessica's life is brutally ended before the horrified eyes of hundreds. This is the story that shocked millions online, but what if I told you it was never real? Jessica Radcliffe's so-called death spread like wildfire across social media platforms. A shaky video clip paired with dramatic narration seemed to show her final moments. Within hours, hashtags trended worldwide, news outlets referenced it, and millions debated the terrifying scene. People wept at the tragedy, shared the video with warnings, and called for justice against the marine park. For many, it was undeniable truth because it felt too raw, too visceral, to be fake. But the truth emerged soon after. The video was an AI fabrication, created with advanced editing tools and inspired by fragments of older, real tragedies. Yet by then, the damage was done. Even knowing it was fake, people couldn't shake the horror. Why? Because deep inside, it reflected something we already knew. When a wild predator, like an orca, is confined to a tank, stripped of its freedom, and pushed to perform tricks for entertainment, tragedy doesn't just feel possible, it feels inevitable. This is why Jessica's fictional death resonated. It was not the story of one woman, it was the shadow of every real trainer who ever stepped into the water with a captive killer whale. To understand why the Jessica story felt so believable, we must look at what captivity does to orcas. In the wild, these animals are extraordinary endurance swimmers. They can travel up to 150 kilometers in a single day, diving deep into icy waters, chasing seals, dolphins, and even whales. They live in close-knit pods that communicate with unique dialects, passing hunting traditions down generations. Freedom is not a luxury for them, it is their very nature. Now contrast that with captivity. Inside a marine park, an orca's world shrinks to a few small pools, barely a fraction of its natural range. Where the open ocean offers limitless stimulation, the tank offers only concrete walls and rehearsed tricks. Hours of boredom turn into frustration, stress levels skyrocket, their dorsal fins collapse, a visible sign of distress seen in nearly every captive male orca. And without the complex life of the ocean, they begin to break down psychologically, emotionally, even physically. This is when aggression surfaces. Trainers who once shared playful bonds suddenly face unpredictable behaviors, orcas ignoring signals, refusing food, or lashing out in dangerous ways. It is not malice, it is desperation. Imagine being locked in a single room for your entire life, surrounded by noise and lights, forced to repeat the same actions again and again. How long before you snapped? This is captivity's dark secret, the transformation of the ocean's most majestic predator into a ticking time bomb. Jessica Radcliffe never existed, but the events that inspired her fictional tragedy are chillingly real. The most infamous orca in captivity was Tilikum, held at marine parks for decades. In 1991, at Sealand of the Pacific in Canada, trainer Keltie Byrne slipped into the pool. Tilikum and two other orcas dragged her under repeatedly, and she drowned before rescuers could reach her. In 1999, a man trespassed into SeaWorld Orlando at night and entered Tilikum's tank. The next morning, staff found his lifeless body draped across the orca's back. And in 2010, tragedy struck again. During a live performance at SeaWorld Florida, senior trainer Dawn Brancheau was pulled into the water. In front of hundreds of visitors, Tilikum thrashed her violently, leading to her death. These incidents shocked the world and raised painful questions about the risks of keeping orcas in captivity. The documentary Blackfish exposed these realities to the masses, showing that the aggression was not born out of malice, but of years of psychological torment. So while Jessica's story was fabricated, it drew directly from the haunting truth. Captivity can turn one of the most intelligent creatures on Earth into a danger to both itself and those around it. When the media covers such attacks, it is easy to frame the orca as the villain, the killer whale, living up to its terrifying name. But the truth is far more complex. Orcas are not monsters. They are victims of human exploitation. Imagine being torn from your family as a calf, shipped thousands of miles and dropped into a sterile tank. Imagine losing the ability to swim alongside your pod, to hunt, to explore the oceans. That is the reality of most captive orcas. Their aggression is not an inherent desire to harm, but an anguished cry for freedom. The Jessica Radcliffe hoax, though false, forced people to confront this uncomfortable truth. Viewers began asking, should marine parks still exist? Should we continue breeding orcas in tanks, knowing the risks and suffering involved? Each fabricated clip, each viral rumor reflects a collective guilt. Deep down, we know captivity is wrong. Orcas belong in the wild, not on a stage. They are symbols of the ocean's majesty, not props for human entertainment. And every tragic story, real or fictional, serves as a reminder of that truth. To truly appreciate why captivity is so devastating, we need to understand the natural majesty of the orca. Despite its nickname killer whale, it is not a true whale at all. It is the largest member of the dolphin family. Adult males reach lengths of nearly 10 meters and can weigh over 500 kilograms. With speeds of up to 56 kilometers per hour, they are among the fastest predators in the ocean. Their 45 sharp teeth, each almost 8 centimeters long, are designed not for chewing but for ripping prey into pieces. The name killer whale traces back centuries, when sailors witnessed pods of orcas hunting even the largest whales. They were called whale killers, a label that over time reversed into killer whale. But their true power lies not only in strength but in intelligence. Orcas possess the second largest brain of any marine mammal, weighing about 6.8 kilograms, with highly folded layers that enhance cognitive ability. They live in sophisticated societies, each pod with its own dialect, hunting style, and traditions. Some specialize in fish, others in seals, even sharks. This cultural diversity makes them one of the few non-human species known to develop local cultures. Studies suggest orcas rival chimpanzees in intelligence and in certain ways surpass them, especially in cooperation, planning, and communication. They even show signs of theory of mind, the ability to recognize and predict the thoughts of others. All of this underscores one fact: these creatures are not meant for tanks. Their brilliance, their strength, their spirit, it belongs to the boundless oceans. The story of Jessica Radcliffe may have been false, but the truths it reflected are undeniable. Captivity breaks orcas. It warps their nature, steals their freedom, and sometimes costs human lives. Yet in the wild, these same animals reveal the breathtaking beauty of the oceans, intelligent, powerful, and free. So next time you hear the words killer whale, remember, the true killers are not the orcas, but the cages we built for them. If you believe these stories must be told, help us spread the truth. Like this video, share it, and subscribe for more eye-opening journeys with no return.